When you look at the players he manages, there seems to be a level of respect they have for him, but there's also this special connection where the players that play for him, they always show. The memes that went round of the Champions League final where everyone called him Don Carlo capture the kind of connection everyone wants with their boss. On the touchline, he's never loud, never loses control. You never see theatrics up and down the touchline. When you see him, he just oozes class and always looks in control, even when his teams are losing. This is a man who has tasted success across great teams like Real Madrid, AC Milan, Chelsea, Bayern Munich, and has quietly mastered the art of leadership. There is no team too big for him. When he's in charge, trust him to get you results. He knows how to win. Time and time again, he's always at the helm of teams with superstars that have massive egos. He always finds a way to earn their trust, respect, and loyalty. Carlo Ancelotti's leadership philosophy breaks down the boundaries of sport. It's a blueprint for leading in the boardroom, the classroom, the home, wherever you need it. What you will find is a timeless approach to leadership rooted in discipline, trust, and respect for culture. Today, we're breaking down Carlo Ancelotti's book, Quiet Leadership. I'm handing you the keys to unlock Carlo's insights. When you truly understand them, you will see how powerful they are. They will make you rethink what it truly means to lead. I'm really excited for this one. Let's get started. There is something Carlo Ancelotti understands better than most. Every leader's journey has a cycle, deep it. Whether you're managing a football team, a business, or even a family, it all follows a pattern. Courtship, honeymoon, stability, and eventually the heartbreaking but necessary breakup. First comes the courtship, when the club identifies you and tries to acquire your services. Then comes the honeymoon period, but it never lasts long. Next comes success and stability, should you be able to achieve it. For a top club, this means trophies. But success is measured differently further down the leagues. Eventually, this stability plateaus and the problems begin, the cracks in the relationship. Finally comes the breakup, the inevitable parting of ways. How often have we seen a manager go from hero to zero overnight? A few bad results and suddenly the club is looking for a new direction. Remember David Moyes at West Ham or Claudio Ranieri at Leicester? One minute you're that guy, the next minute you gotta go and take your backroom staff with you. The cycle isn't a failure, it's just the reality of leadership. The key is how you navigate each phase. Success lies in navigating each phase with grace and humility. No one ever starts day one as the best. For Carlo, this realization didn't come overnight. His journey from a world-class player to an elite manager was humbling. You must never think that being a player is enough to be a great manager. The problem is that when you become a manager after finishing a playing career so recently, you think you know everything, but you don't. He began his managerial career at Reggiana without coaching badges. He made mistakes, but like with anything, it is to be expected. Mistakes are part of growth. It's not about avoiding them, it's about learning from them. That's how you evolve as a leader. Most managers at every level know trust is important, but don't truly understand trust is extremely powerful in both directions. Early on in his career, he discovered that leadership isn't just about tactics or decisions, it's about people. You have 18, maybe 20 players, but once you've named the 11 in the team, the faces of the others, which were so excited before, suddenly become fixed in hostile expressions. Carlo learned that addressing players' concerns and building relationships was just as important as setting up a tactical game plan. By prioritizing open communication, he laid the foundation for trust, a skill that would define his career. Average managers focus on the main starting 11. Great managers have great emotional awareness and communication skills to keep those who are not playing or on the fringes engaged. I'll never forget this Alex Ferguson quote. I decided right away that in order to build trust and loyalty with the players, I had to give it to them first. That is the starting point for the bond on which great institutions thrive. Carlo Ancelotti wants us to see leadership as a journey, not a destination. The ups and downs, the mistakes, and the inevitable breakups are all part of the process. Whether you're stepping into a new role or transitioning into greater responsibilities, the key is to embrace these challenges with humility and adaptability. Carlo Ancelotti nicked this saying from Peter Drucker: culture eats strategy for breakfast. Tactics and talent can only take you so far. It's the culture you build within your team. Carlo's concept of culture starts with one word: family. At every club he's managed, from Milan to Madrid, Carlo has prioritized creating an atmosphere where people feel connected, valued, and respected. It has to be bigger than just coming to work. When I joined Milan as a manager, it was like coming home for me. The club is set up exactly like a family. Loyalty is at the center of relationships. It should be hard to break into a family, but even harder to be excluded. For Carlo, trust is the glue that holds everything together. This family talk isn't working out without trust. Forget it. Without it, even the most talented teams fall apart. Managers must first establish trust early and lead by example to shape the team's environment. For me, the most important thing is trust. I need to have trust so that I can feel comfortable to delegate. Every club he has been at, Carlo aims to bring the same philosophy. Treat the club like a family, sharing meals with players, learning the language of the country, or creating spaces for open communication. These things appear small but have a massive impact amongst everyone at the club. Everyone feels involved with the mission. I wanted to bring the family environment I know so well from Milan to Paris. And mealtimes are an important part of the family life. This is how I like the culture of the club to be. Carlo's career has taken him across Europe, managing in different leagues with different cultures. His secret? Adaptation. He never forces his way of thinking on the team. Instead, he learns from the culture and integrates himself into it. When I was a foreigner in England, as well as in Spain and France, I forced myself to learn the language. The prevailing atmosphere in the club when I arrived dictates the amount of time and work it will take to create the family I desire. By respecting the traditions and values of the club he's managed, Carlo has shown that leaders succeed not by imposing their ideas but by building bridges. At Milan, Carlo inherited a club steeped in tradition, and instead of changing its DNA, he amplified it. At Real Madrid, he adapted to the intense demands of a club obsessed with attacking football. David Moyes could have done with this kind of advice when joining United. This was the reason major figures believed he failed, making too many changes way too quickly. In all these cases, Carlo makes one thing crystal clear: a manager's job isn't solely about managing the players, it's also about managing the environment. The culture drives success. Without it, talent and strategy alone are not enough. Managers set the tone not just for how the team plays, but for how the team lives and breathes every day. Carlo wants us to understand the culture is the bedrock of success in any team or organization. Whether you're leading a multinational company or coaching a youth football team, your job is to foster a sense of belonging, loyalty, and trust. Culture isn't a nice to have, it's a necessity. Build it like a family, respect the environment, and adapt when needed. When you get the culture right, success will follow. Here's a side of leadership that doesn't get talked about enough: managing the hierarchy. Leadership isn't just about managing the people directly under you. You have to consider those above you, those below, and those at the same level. Carlo learned early how to navigate the power dynamics of football clubs. You have presidents, directors, players, and even fans. For many managers, hierarchy can be a bit tricky. For Carlo, it's a balancing act, one he's perfected through trust, diplomacy, and a calm demeanor. Football isn't like any other business. It's fueled by passion, egos, and public scrutiny. Presidents and directors want control, players crave freedom, and fans demand instant success. Carlo understands this unique emotional environment and manages it with poise. Football clubs operate in an environment unlike any corporate structure because of their highly emotional, public-facing nature. Everyone has an opinion and everyone is so passionate. In his time at AC Milan, Carlo dealt with Silvio Berlusconi, a president who didn't hesitate to involve himself in team decisions or even stroll into the dressing room to say his piece. At Real Madrid, he faces a similar intense hierarchy under Florentino Perez. Yet, Carlo thrives because he knows how to manage these relationships without losing focus on the most important puzzle: the team. If Berlusconi wants to come into the dressing room to tell his jokes, then I have to understand that it is his dressing room. Carlo doesn't fight the hierarchy, he adapts to it. Sometimes you just have to know when to keep peace. One of the most important responsibilities a manager has is to shield their players from the madness that can be happening above them. Carlo knows that for players to perform at their best, they need a sense of security and stability. My job is to ensure that the noise above doesn't negatively impact the dressing room. At Real Madrid, this meant insulating players from the intense scrutiny of fans and media. At Chelsea, it meant ensuring players didn't feel the weight of the club's boardroom politics. Carlo became the buffer between the team and the outside world. Sometimes it's not about being seen as agreeable, it's about being dependable. Everyone has to feel a part of the project, including presidents and directors, even when their ideas conflict with team priorities. Carlo fostered relationships where everyone felt valued. He doesn't shy away from the big personalities in the boardroom or the dressing room. Instead, he uses trust and respect to unify them all under one vision. One of Carlo's most unique insights is that players perform best when they feel mentally secure. For him, leadership isn't about applying constant pressure, it's about creating an environment where players can focus on their roles without fear. He uses a simple analogy but very effective. Two people have a horse each, and they both have to get their horse to jump over a fence. The first owner uses a whip to force the horse to jump, and it jumps. The second owner stands in front of the horse with a carrot, and the horse jumps over the fence trying to get the carrot. Now, both horses jump, but he states that the guy that uses the whip to force the horse to jump, one day that horse will kick back, and that will be a big problem. So you see, motivation through trust and encouragement will always be more effective than fear. Carlo shows us that leadership within a hierarchy is about navigating power with grace. Whether you're dealing with demanding bosses, team members, or stakeholders, success lies in balancing diplomacy with assertiveness. Here's the key takeaway. Understand the dynamics of your organization's hierarchy and play your role with trust. Protect those you lead, respect those above you, and create an environment where people feel safe but accountable. Talent is everywhere in football, but understanding it, nurturing it, and maximizing it, that's a different ballgame altogether. Talent isn't just about skill on the pitch, it's about character, culture, and compatibility. Carlo's ability to bring out the best in players, from Ballon d'Or winners to unsung heroes, has made him one of the most effective managers in football history. Carlo doesn't see players as machines, he sees them as people first, individuals with unique aspirations, emotions, and challenges. My starting point is that players and staff are foremost people. They are not defined by their roles, their positions, or their jobs. This philosophy has been key to his success. At Real Madrid, Carlo has managed Cristiano Ronaldo, a player who demands perfection, not just from himself, but from everyone around him. Instead of imposing his will, Carlo earned Ronaldo's respect by understanding his personality and adapting his leadership style to bring out Ronaldo's best. At the end of the day, you're not managing robots, you're managing people with their own stories and ambitions. For Carlo, signing a player isn't just about their ability, it's about how they fit into the team's culture and values. A bad cultural fit can disrupt the harmony of a team, while the right personality can elevate it. It is important to recruit people who have the same ideas about values and behaviours. At AC Milan, Paolo Maldini and Alessandro Nesta set the cultural tone for the entire squad. Don't just hire for skills, hire for alignment with your organisation's culture. Bringing a new player into a team is about more than just tactics or logistics, it's about helping them feel like they belong. Carlo believes onboarding is critical to long-term success and warns against the dangers of neglecting it. The onboarding of players should be a part of creating the right environment for them. If a new signing doesn't adjust within 6 months, it usually has a negative effect. This process isn't just for superstars. Carlo values the role of the foot soldiers, the hard-working, often underappreciated players who keep the team balanced. The likes of Gattuso at AC Milan, these players form the backbone of any successful team. One of Carlo's greatest strengths is his tactical flexibility. Unlike some managers who force players to fit their systems, Carlo adapts his system to fit the players. For me, the solution is never to sacrifice talent by diminishing it, but always to enable it to flourish. At Real Madrid, this meant building a system around Ronaldo's unique strengths. At AC Milan, it meant creating the iconic Christmas tree formation in midfield to maximise the talents of Kaká, Pirlo and Seedorf. Carlo's flexibility doesn't just win games, it wins the trust of his players. The balance must be not lowering the talent to fit the team, but rather raising the team to fit the talent. Every team evolves, and managing transitions, whether introducing young players or phasing out veterans, it's not an easy task and must be handled with care. Carlo handles these moments with sensitivity, ensuring the team remains cohesive while respecting individual legacies. Managing exits is not easy, but essential to sustain relationships and ensure the long-term health of the team. Carlo Ancelotti's philosophy on talent teaches us to see beyond the obvious. Talent isn't just about performance, metrics or accolades, it's about how individuals contribute to the bigger picture. Build relationships with your team as individuals, focus on aligning talent with culture, prioritize onboarding, and adapt your systems to elevate everyone's strengths. Whether you're managing a football team, a business, your success depends on how well you nurture talent you have. Carlo Ancelotti's leadership philosophy is unbelievable. From understanding the arc of leadership to building trust and fostering culture, his lessons reach far beyond the football pitch. He offers timeless insights for anyone leading a team, managing a business, or striving to bring out the best in others. But this is the beginning. The depth and power of Carlo Ancelotti's approach to leadership can't be contained in one episode. There's so much more to uncover, more stories and more strategies and more lessons that can change the way you think about leading and succeeding. So stay tuned for part 2, where we'll dive deeper into Carlo Ancelotti's leadership philosophies. The journey doesn't end here, it's only just beginning. Don't miss what's coming next. It might be the key to unlocking your own leadership potential. So see you in the next episode.